Fellow Toastmasters and honored guest in the audience today, we're having the Ada County 2024 March update a little bit late due to some technical difficulties last weekend. Thank you, Toastmasters, for providing a safe environment where I can improve my speech. And the word of the day is zoosh today, which means a marginal improvement. And that's my goal of attending Toastmasters. If you're watching this online, I'll have information down below to join the Capital Club Toastmasters. Today we're going to be covering the median sold price here in Ada County, first time home buyers payment if you were to buy that house at 3.5% down, and then also the paradeofhomes towards the end, so stick with me, that's going to be exciting. Now we've got the Falcon 9 rocket attached to the bottom of your house right here, because in Ada County the prices went up 10.59% between February and March. That is the largest housing increase in Ada County history, even during COVID. The next largest increase was 8.4% last March. So the best month to list your home for sale is actually April, because you want to wait for that March bump. Normally 3 to 4% used to be standard appreciation for a house here, but to go up 10.59% in 1 month is crazy. I actually called the Intermountain MLS, who releases the public stats. We ended up at 546,000 last month, and the peak in June in 2022 was 586. You can see we went down to 472, and then we were kind of bouncing along 490 like for the last several months, and then it went way up, and that's from the shortage of homes. But I called the MLS because I thought they had made a mistake, and I said, well, can you check with the person that does the public stats? They usually release them about a week into the next month, so we'll be doing the April update in 2 weeks because I have to wait a week for that to come out. This is a little delayed, but that's been automated for a while, so it wasn't a mistake. I thought it was a mistake to have gone up that much. So let's look at a house. Here's some first-time home buyers that just bought a home in Meridian, Idaho for $546. That was the closest price to our median price, and you can see it was built in 2020 and 2,100 square feet, 3-car garage, single family, nice home. Let's look at what their payment would have been. They bought it in March. So at the time the interest rate was 7.1, and it's actually like 7.3 now. It's been going up, and people were hoping that it would go down. A lot of realtors and loan officers were saying, marry the house, date the rate, which means buy now and you can just refinance when rates come down. Well, a lot of buyers bought the house back in 2022 and they're still married to the house and the rate. So, yeah. But that was a good slogan for a while, to get people off the fence so they weren't worried about it. They could just refi later, but they're waiting. The payment on that house would be $4,200, and that would be about $3,600 in your payment and interest, and then your escrow, your compounds, your mortgage insurance, hazard insurance like fire, water damage, and then also your taxes would make up the rest. So let's find out how much money you would need to make to buy this house as a first-time home buyer here in Ada County if you were buying at 7% interest. So you would need to make $11,800 per month. That's about $141,000. And this is based on Rocket Mortgage right here, that you would need a 36% debt to income ratio. So you would need to make $11,800 to qualify for that $4,800 per month loan. And Jan, our next speaker, works for the Department of Labor, gave me this stat for $58,000 is the median income here in Ada County. So dividing that by 12, your monthly income would be $4,800. That was the payment on the median house. Now, if we times that by the 0.3% the Rocket Mortgage said would be comfortable to use towards your housing allowance of your total income, 36, you can go a little higher, like 41, but then it's really like pushing it, and if your car breaks down, you're in trouble. So they try to keep you around 36%, which would put you into about $1,800 per month for housing to carve that out of your $4,800 gross check. And with 3.5% down, you would qualify for $217,000. So the first-time home buyers basically don't exist in Ada County. We might have some condos in 2C, Canyon County, over in Caldwell and Nampa, that maybe you could get a condo over there, but there's not one in Ada County under $300,000. So that's well under half of the median price what they would qualify for. So since 2022 to now, we have 24% less homes sold. That's what's driving the prices up, is because people are moving here. Like when you drive around, look at the license plates. There used to be a lot of California, signed in red California license plates. They're easy to spot, but now there's a lot of Washington and Oregon plates. They're coming from Seattle and Portland because it's dangerous. They used to come because the prices were better here. They're not really saving that much, but they are coming anyway, no matter what. They sold the house and they're buying something, and that's what's driving the prices up, is we have this influx of people coming into the area that have money from a home they sold, and they're reinvesting it in the house so they don't have to pay capital gains on it. And then they also don't have a mortgage payment. A lot of them are ending up with extra money still. Some interesting realtor stats. So far to date, 3,629 realtors out of 8,100 have sold one house this year. So 44% of the members of the MLS have sold the house. That means that 66% haven't had a paycheck this year. And we're in May, so that's tough. And if you're curious how many houses a realtor normally sells, well, last year, 31.5% of the members in our MLS, the Intermountain MLS, didn't sell a house. They might have a license to write off taxes or something, but I think you kind of need to have a little income to write the taxes off. You can't just write off and have no business. But, they were trying, so they were not ranked. So that was 0 houses. And then 17% of the realtors sold one house, and then 11% sold 2. And if we go down to the bottom of the chart, 19.4% of the realtors sold 7 houses or more. I luckily was able to sell 19 listings last year, and 3 of them I represented the buyer also, and that is going way up. We're going to talk about the lawsuits next. So 28% of the buyers surveyed by Redfin, that's a real estate company, they're a brokerage and also a website like Zillow and an app. 28% of the buyers didn't know how their agent was paid. When they asked who paid it, how much did they get, they didn't know how much they were paid. It didn't matter because agents always said, oh, my services are free. So 2 weeks ago, I was quoted in the Idaho Statesman here that the lawsuit settlement with the Department of Justice, the National Association of Realtors agreed to 2 things. One, that buyers agents can no longer say their services are free, and that they're removing the buyer agent commission out of the MLS. The MLS can no longer advertise that the seller is willing to pay 2 or 3%. That's just going away July 1st. And I charge 3%. I actually have a seller savings calculator on my website at 208 Premier where it basically divides whatever you sell for by 3%, because there's no buyer agent fee. I charge 3% total for the listing side, and that may be what other brokerages do. Everyone can decide their own commissions. That's what I do. And now we're getting to the paradeofhomes, which starts this weekend, May 4th through the 19th, and there's 30 homes on here. You can see most of them are over here in Eagle and Star, but I got to go on a VIP real estate tour that a couple friends invited me. Thanks, Craig and Norm, onto that. I'm a member of this, so I could have paid, but I got a free seat because there was extras. If you want your ticket, you can go to Parade of Homes, and it will start this Friday from noon to 8 through the weekend, and then it's not going on Monday or Tuesday, but during the week it starts after work, 5 to 8 p.m. Some of the new trends are wallpaper is back, and these are in 4,400 square foot homes. These are the biggest, nicest homes, so it's bold to see the wallpaper there, but you can have like a solid color. And one of the fun things about Parade of Homes is you could remodel your own home. Maybe it doesn't make sense to buy a new home, but you can put wallpaper up and you don't have to move. And also gold fixtures everywhere. You see the gold fixtures in the shower, on the buttons here, and then there, and then the under cabinet lighting. So you can put LED lighting, make your house feel like new. And then my favorite thing was this jade green steam shower that you can lounge right here and then use those controls and close the glass door. That was in one of the homes. And then also I like this in the kitchen with the big farm sink and the plants hanging, so you still have all your countertop space. I thought those were too cool. Those were my 2 favorite things. And the Builders Association, the Parade of Homes, you can see what's happening. The builders put a lot of time and effort into this. They also donate a free house, and then they have the pet edition where high school kids will build these dog houses. And the $15 actually goes to scholarships for kids to get into the trades organization. So The builders don't get that, and I like this too. This was in one of the houses. Do you see the little dog water dish? So sometimes they have the pot filler over the stove. This is in the kitchen down for the dog. I thought that was just comical. And moving forward, I'm going to start tracking the foreclosures because I think that's going to happen. There's been a foreclosure moratorium, and thousands of people are not paying their mortgage, but they're not actually being foreclosed because Radian Financial, that's one of the companies that does your private mortgage insurance, and I've been getting more assignments for them. There's only been 94 defaults filed in Ada County since the first of the year, which we had 1,600 sales, so that's such a small portion. It's not going to affect anything, and no one's going to be in trouble because our prices are almost back to the peak. There's such a shortage that anyone that lists their home right now is getting top dollar really fast, which brings me to my favorite part. Do you think it's a good time to buy or sell? It's always a good time to sell. My name's Jeff Jones with 208 Premier Real Estate. Give me a call and start packing.